Federal High Court sitting in Lagos State has postponed the arraignment of Ezekiel ThankGod aka Eezetee, the ex-manager of Nigeria gospel music star, Chinwo over allegation of stealing $340,000 belonging to the singer, with the judge of the Federal High Court insisting that the court must complete the case administrative procedures before the ex-manager who was in court in person on Thursday can be arraigned. According to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Justice A.O.O.A. of the Federal High Court, Ikoyi, Lagos, has adjourned the alleged $340,000 fraud case involving Ezekiel ThankGod, former manager of gospel artist, Chinwo till May 14, 2025 for hearing. The Lagos Zonal Directorate of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC had filed a 3-count charge against him bordering on money laundering and dishonest conversion to the tune of $340,000. One of the counts reads, that you, Ezekiel Onyedikachukwu ThankGod and Easy Global Concepts Limited sometime in 2023, directly returned the sum of $260,494, $260,494 in Easy Global Ministry Zenith Bank PLC account number, which sum you reasonably ought to have known forms part of the proceeds of an unlawful activity, the dishonest conversion of the said sum, property of Chinwo and Judith Kanayo. The offense is contrary to Section 18(2)(d) and punishable under Section 18(3) of the Money Laundering, Prevention and Prohibition Act, 2022. He was to have been arraigned alongside his company, Easy Global Concepts Limited, on February 17, 2025, but his absence stalled his trial. The court had also issued a bench warrant for his arrest and ordered him to appear in court today, March 6, 2025, either by the subsisting bench warrant or production by his counsel. His counsel, Dr. Monde Ubani, San, had also assured that he will be in court on the adjourned date. At the resumed sitting on Thursday, prosecuting counsel, Bilkisu Buhari informed the court of the prosecution's readiness to arraign the defendant who was present in court. The matter is for arraignment and subject to the court's overriding convenience. We are ready to commence, she said. Justice Owoeye, however, held that there is an administrative procedure on this matter and I cannot proceed until the determination of the procedure. The case was thereafter adjourned till May 14, 2025 for hearing. On January 28, 2025, Chinwo said via her social media handles that, I am overwhelmed with sadness every single day, and I cannot even explain it all. This burden is too heavy for me to bear. People call me names, accuse me unjustly, and paint me as someone I am not. They say I broke contract, that I never did, despite all the frustration. They label me as something I could never be. South Korea Air Force has confirmed 15 persons to have sustained injuries when 2 fighter jets filled with soldiers on training mistakenly airdropped 8 bombs on a civilian populated area at Pocheon town, which is a border community with North Korea, during military drill conducted by U.S. military instructors on Thursday. It was gathered that South Korea began a joint military drill with the U.S. recently in preparation against the likely threat from North Korea and the current posture of China following the 20% tariff on Chinese goods imposed by the U.S. President, Donald Trump. According to the Republic of Korea Air Force, ROKAF, a KF-16 multi-role fighter, accidentally dropped at least 8 Mk-82 500-pound bombs on the town of Dongmyeon in the Jeolgi province of South Korea, less than 12 miles from the Korean Demilitarized Zone (DMZ) and border with North Korea. The bombs destroyed several homes and a nearby church, causing at least 8 injuries among residents, including 4 that were considered critical injuries. The pilots of the fighter jets were said to have dropped the 8 bombs in the wrong place. The fire agency in South Korea, according to Reuters, said in a statement that 15 people were wounded, including 2 who were seriously hurt. It was gathered that Pocheon is about 40 kilometers, 25 miles, northeast of Seoul, near the heavily militarized border with North Korea. Reuters quoted some residents saying that there was a sudden loud roar of a fighter jet, then an explosion rang out. When I went to the scene, there were about 4 houses that were halved from the damage. People hurt, said Oh Mong-soo, a 65-year-old resident. Dusk and smoke rose into the sky. Water gushed out of a pipe. People in a vehicle going to a construction site were injured. Some of them couldn't even get out of the car. Another was outside the car covering his eye. South Korea Air Force in a statement said, "We are sorry for the damage caused by the abnormal drop accident, and we wish the injured a speedy recovery." Al Jazeera reported that the accident was due to a pilot entering incorrect coordinates, quoting a military official who declined to be identified because of the sensitivity of the matter. The official said that the 2 jets then dropped 4 bombs each, with all of them detonating. 8 Mk-82 general-purpose bombs were abnormally released from an Air Force KF-16 aircraft, landing outside the designated firing range, the Air Force said on Thursday. The incident occurred about 10 a.m., 1 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time, in Pocheon, about 12 miles south of the heavily fortified border with nuclear-armed North Korea. "We deeply regret the unintended release of the bombs, which resulted in civilian casualties, and wish those injured a swift recovery," the Air Force said in a statement. It said it had established an accident response committee to investigate the incident and said it would take all necessary measures, including compensation for damages. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, in a written and video statement on Monday, has said that what Ukrainians need is a true and honest peace deal and not endless war, just as President Donald Trump of the US and one of the world's richest billionaires, Elon Musk, had continued to use their privileged office and position in the society to launch a terrorist-like media cold war against the person of President Zelensky, apparently to weaken his zeal and cause public disaffection against the Ukrainian president by thus using dangerous negative communication styles of half-truth, manipulated facts, deliberate misrepresentation of facts, misinterpretation of words, spin logic, bullying, game shaming, blaming, belittling, mockery, and trying to hold Ukraine ransom by blocking U.S. military aid to the troubled country for a war. It appears Donald Trump is the first U.S. president that kick-started it by thus. The Trump administration first approved the sale of Javelin anti-tank missiles to Ukraine in December 2017, after civil unrest ensued in Ukraine in 2014 with a protest codenamed Revolution of Dignity, which ousted and forced into exile in Russia the then pro-Russia president, Viktor Fedorovich Yanukovych, on February 22, 2014, just a day after President Vladimir Putin mobilized troops and invaded Ukraine, succeeded in taking over Ukraine's territorial land of Crimea, an action the then U.S. President Barack Obama retaliated by only placing sanctions on Russia assets for violating the constitutional rights of Ukraine. The 2017 action of Donald Trump was a step that former President Barack Obama never took, which Trump allies pointed to be a sign of Trump's toughness on Russia and good for U.S. business, which, given Ukraine lethal weapons, had been a red line for Obama, who feared that it could cause Russia to escalate conflict, which President Vladimir Putin-led Russia actually did. And Ukraine has been fighting Russian soldiers and Russia-backed armed separatists in its eastern provinces since 2014, shortly after Russia illegally occupied and annexed Crimea, in a war that has claimed approximately 13,000 lives and displaced 1.5 million people, according to the Ukrainian government before Volodymyr Zelensky became Ukrainian president in May 20, 2019 on the platform of Servant of the People political party, and before Zelensky became president. Putin violated 3 ceasefire peace deals under Donald Trump in January, February and March 2019, and as at December 2019, Ukrainian military reported a total of more than 70 ceasefire deals violated by Putin-led Russia. And during his inaugural speech on May 20, 2019, when Volodymyr Zelensky took office as president of Ukraine, he said his priority was a ceasefire in the Donbas, and also asserted that Crimea and Donbas are Ukrainian land, and that the people living in those regions are not strangers. They are ours, Ukrainians, truly. On December 9, 2019, the Russian President, Vladimir Putin, French President, Emmanuel Macron, German Chancellor, Angela Merkel and Ukrainian President, Volodymyr Zelensky met in person in Paris, France and agreed on a ceasefire and prisoners exchange, but, on same day, 3 Ukrainian soldiers were killed by a landmine by Russian-backed forces who violated the ceasefire 7 more times in December using BMP-1 armored vehicles, grenade launchers, heavy machine guns, and small arms. This
bringing you the news in a more digital way.